You checked your phone. Silver just closed at $96.60 an ounce. Milo Monkey freezes, scrolls back, reads it again. 1 year ago, silver was $31. That's not a typo. That's over 200% in 12 months, while the S&P crawled up 14%. Your savings account paid you 0.5%. Your friend who bought tech stocks? Maybe 20%, if he was lucky. Silver didn't outperform. It broke the system. And here's the part that should bother you. Nobody is calling this a bubble. Nobody is calling this speculation. Nobody is blaming Reddit traders or meme hype. Because this isn't sentiment. This is physics colliding with math. Milo Monkey adjusts his tie. 5 straight years of silver supply deficits. At the exact same moment, China tightens control over a metal it refines nearly 70% of globally. That's not a trade, that's a choke point. And when choke points hit industrial supply chains, prices don't drift higher, they snap. I'm Milo Monkey, and for the last 8 years I've been obsessed with commodity markets people ignore, right up until they explode. I track supply chains, industrial demand, geopolitical bottlenecks, and the gap between what paper markets claim exists and what's actually sitting in vaults. And right now, silver is flashing every warning signal I've ever studied. This isn't just about silver, it's about what happens when the physical world catches up to financial fantasy, and it's happening in real time. Here's the thesis. Silver just became the most important industrial commodity on the planet, and nobody built enough mines when they had the chance. Now it's too late. The deficit isn't closing, inventories aren't rebuilding, and 2026 just started. Let me show you the math that kept Milo up last night. In 2025, global silver demand hit 1.24 billion ounces. Industry, investment, jewelry, coins, everything. Total supply, mining plus recycling reached 1.01 billion ounces. That's a 230 million ounce annual deficit. To put that in perspective, that's roughly Mexico's entire yearly silver production. Gone, consumed, in 1 year. That's not a shortage, that's a structural crisis. And this isn't year 1, this is year 5. Since 2021, cumulative deficits now exceed 820 million ounces. Almost an entire year of global mine supply vanished, turned into solar panels, circuit boards, EVs, AI data centers. And here's the brutal truth most people miss. Silver doesn't recycle like gold. Once it's inside a solar panel or a circuit board, it's economically unrecoverable. It's gone forever. And if you think this sounds like every commodity panic story you've heard before, good, because this is where it breaks from the script. COMEX registered inventories, the metal actually available for delivery, are down 70% since 2020. LBMA vaults are down 40%. Shanghai inventories just hit decade lows. These aren't opinions, these are audited warehouse receipts. The metal isn't there. And then something happened that made Milo sit up straight. In October 2025, silver lease rates spiked to 40% annualized. Normal is 0.5%. Read that again, not 4%, 40. That's not volatility, that's not speculation, that's industrial panic. Factories paying 40% annual interest just to borrow metal for 90 days because they can't find it anywhere else. When borrowing costs go up 80 times normal, something is breaking. And this is where everything changes, because the supply deficit is only half the story. The other half? China. On January 1, 2026, China quietly implemented new silver export restrictions, minimum 80-ton annual production capacity just to qualify for export licenses. Hundreds of smaller refiners blocked. No license, no exports. China refines 60 to 70% of the world's silver. This isn't a tariff. This isn't a negotiation. This is China saying, we're keeping the silver. Sound familiar?
It should. In 2010, China restricted rare earth exports. Prices surged 600% in 18 months. The West scrambled. Supply chains took 8 years to rebuild. And silver is far more critical than rare earths. Your phone has it. Your car has it. Solar panels need it. AI servers depend on it. And now, 70% of global refining sits behind a license wall controlled by Beijing. Pause here, because this next part is where people lose money, or make it. Silver isn't exploding because of China. It's exploding because new demand is stacking faster than supply can respond. And the biggest driver? Solid-state batteries. In November 2025, Samsung announced production-ready solid-state batteries, 600-mile range, 9-minute charging, 20-year lifespan. Not prototypes, production by late 2026. Here's the detail nobody talks about. They use silver carbon composite anodes, roughly 1 kilogram of silver per vehicle. At even 20% global adoption, that's 50 million ounces per year for one application that didn't exist 2 years ago. This doesn't replace demand, it stacks on top. Solar already consumes 200 million ounces per year. EVs already use 30 to 40 million ounces annually. AI data centers keep adding incremental demand. 5G infrastructure needs it. Medical devices need it. Every one of these sectors is growing faster than GDP, all competing for the same 230 million ounce annual deficit. So why can't miners just dig more? Here's the trap. 70 to 80% of silver is mined as a byproduct of copper, zinc, and lead. Higher silver prices don't automatically increase supply. Copper economics drive production, and new silver mines take 8 to 12 years to bring online, even with unlimited capital. Meanwhile, demand is rising now. Inventories are collapsing now. The deficit is happening now. Ore grades are declining. Costs are rising. Geology doesn't care about price.
This isn't a cycle. It's a squeeze. Wall Street finally noticed. Major banks are forecasting $135 to $300 silver, depending on delivery stress. These aren't YouTubers. These are bullion banks moving billions daily. And they're all saying the same thing. Physical supply cannot meet demand at current prices. But here's the real shift. Silver isn't a precious metal anymore. It's a critical industrial input. Electrification, solar, AI. 3 megatrends, 0 substitutes, fixed supply. That creates one outcome. Prices rise until something breaks. And demand can't break because government's already committed to building everything that needs silver. The U.S. designated silver a critical mineral in November 2025. That's not symbolic. That's an admission. The problem is real. So here we are. Silver closed at $96.60, up 143% in 2025, second only to gold in commodity market cap. And every force pushing it higher is accelerating. The deficit isn't closing. Inventories aren't rebuilding. Supply can't respond for a decade. This isn't a bull market. It's a supply crisis. And 5 years from now, the question won't be, why did silver go up? It'll be, why didn't I pay attention when the math was this obvious? Because it was obvious. It still is. And physics always wins.